YouTube.
Good morning.
Today we're headed to see Mr. Charlie.
The Oil Rig Museum
Join us.
in Morgan City, Louisiana.
That's in Louisiana.
You have to look over here,
I'm
honey.
busy looking where I'm walking.
I would have
First movable rig ever built for offshore.
10 times bigger than that. That is incredible.
So now when you
All the cool kids are playing it. The Rig Museum, or Mr. Charlie, is the first of its kind. It is an actual offshore movable drilling rig used for many years to drill oil wells. It now sits as a monument showing the ingenuity and hard work that took place to build the United States, to defend her citizens, provide jobs for thousands of families, and to enable light and mobility for the world.
Yeah,
that's an old blowout preventer.
Okay.
They say
right.
it's the first
You
one
were
ever
right.
used.
Yeah.
he does not like metal. You have to look over here,
I'm
honey.
busy looking where I'm walking.
Yes.
You guys got to work on this thing? Good grief almighty. Can't imagine when it's like set up and you got to do this every day. Mr. Charlie is a Harvest Host location. They will allow stays up to 3 nights with prior arrangements. Just call the main number for assistance. Virgil Allen is our tour guide and the president of the museum and exposition. He is so knowledgeable, friendly, and personable. Thank you, Virgil, for everything. Tours are only held twice daily, either 10 a.m. or 2 p.m. Be sure to be there at only those times. $10 per adult. The tour includes walking the rig. Beware, if you're like me, you have to walk on pulled wire grates for a short time and up 28 steps. Your tour guide will discuss the items you see and what their use is in the oil drilling process.
history side of the actual offshore oil and gas industry started in 1947. And that's when a crew went from Morgan City out into the Gulf, built a platform, put a land rig on the platform, drilled a well, couldn't see land, so they were offshore.
Oh,
Right.
wow.
Then in the early 1950s, a man working here in Morgan City came up with the idea of a reusable, movable drilling rig. A rig they could use over and over again.
Right.
And this is the rig that he built.
Really?
So
I
this
would
is the
have.
first movable rig ever built for offshore. So it's self-contained. This revolutionized the industry because now it's more portable.
Sure.
So everything that's out there
Right.
today is now fashioned after this rig, but now for deeper water. This one, because of the short length of the legs, was limited to 40 feet of water depth. Now in 1954, when this went to work, well, that was deep water.
Yeah.
Today
Right.
we're in 12,000 feet of water depth.
Whoa.
Once you're through drilling the well and you want to go into long-term production, that's a more permanently mounted facility similar to this platform here. So
Okay.
this structure is a small unmanned satellite production platform. So when we look at some of the differences between drilling and production, one is the number of facilities it takes.
Right.
Drilling is temporary and portable, so right now there's about 20 drilling rigs working in the Gulf. There's over 3,400 production facilities in the Gulf.
Whoa.
Wow.
And when we say the Gulf, we're talking the central and western Gulf. This rig had 58 workers on it with this configuration. Now, in 1954, when this went to work, it had a single-story living quarters with only 40 workers. So this two-story quarters was put on in 1980 when they did a renovation of the rig, 80 and 81. So between 1954 and 1980, the new technology increased the workforce by 18 people. Today we have as many as 250 workers on an offshore drilling rig.
Wow.
Wow.
So that rig is responsible directly for 500 jobs.
How much larger? That's got to be
this-
like 4 times that size,
Yeah,
or even
the surface.
bigger.
But if you take
Yeah.
the whole thing, you're 10 times bigger.
You're kidding me.
I mean, they're
Wow.
massive in
It would have
size.
to be.
10 times bigger than that. That is
So
incredible.
now when you look at that workforce that's on the rig, and also the infrastructure, statistically for the Gulf, for every worker on the rig, it takes 5 to 6 in the infrastructure. We're at the main platform, but we've got to come over here to do some maintenance work.
Right.
So we could be riding a crew boat to get from one to the other. So that personnel basket we looked at,
Right.
the crane would pick us up in a basket and set us down on the deck of the boat that's bouncing in 3-foot seas.
Right.
Oh my
We
God.
get over here, there's no crane operator, but at the bottom of that stairs is a boat
ladder.
landing.
Oh, okay.
But the boat can't pull up and tie off because of the rough seas.
Right.
So instead the boat backs up and gets close enough to the boat landing for us to swing across on a rope. So you see those 2 chains hanging there. At the end of those chains there's rope.
Yeah.
Oh
all right.
my God.
Okay,
Oh,
so when we look at a jack-up rig, now you're looking at a rig like this.
Oh.
Okay, so you see these are legs. And so this body of the rig that's above water surface is a barge.
Okay.
So when this is going out, underneath here is another barge.
Like the one you sing.
Yeah, like in the model you'll see. So now with that when you get to location, as this barge is floating on the surface, you sink the other barge to bottom. Once it's on bottom, then you jack this barge up above water surface.
Right.
So you want to jack it up high enough above water surface to avoid whatever waves you think are going to come through.
Right.
Okay. Yeah.
Now, once they were at 200 feet of water depth and wanted to go deeper, they developed the semi-submersible, nicknamed floater, because now it always floats. So now you're looking at a rig like this one here.
Oh my gosh, that is.
So you
I
see
just can't
this
imagine
one
if
has
people thinking,
pontoon
I'm going to
barges.
build this.
So now when it goes out to location, it has an anchor system. So now you can bring it to location, set the anchors out, and the anchors hold you on location. Once the anchors are holding you on location, then you sink these barges below water surface.
Okay.
So all of this would be below water surface.
We love
I'm
the
a
water.
little disappointed at first. I seen this thing here going over the wire.
Oh
coming out.
wow.
Yeah,
No,
this-
This one?
yeah.
Right here?
I thought it was the thing from Back to the Future. The guy wearing that helmet, you know, with all these wires coming out and stuff.
the pipe rack deck is where the drill pipe is stored. So like on this model, your drill pipe is stored over here and on a deck over there. So, and what they'd be able to do, the deco back there that we're not able to see real well is where they're actually, say, dragging drill pipe up from through that, where we looked at what's called the V door, that slide.
Right.
So you drag one joint of pipe up using a smaller winch.
Right.
So that joint of pipe is 32 feet long. So we drag it up and we put it in a hole that's right there on the drill floor. Once it's in that hole, using that big winch we looked at, connected to the travel block, the
Right.
swivel hook, and he'll show you pictures of all of this.
Yeah.
And the Kelly, okay, with all that hanging over, we lower the Kelly over the joint of pipe, attach the joint of pipe to the Kelly, pick up the joint of pipe, and then bring it over to where we're actually drilling the well. So we're drilling the well right in the center of that derrick.
Right.
Okay.
Okay, so at that floor, on ours, and you'll see it in the picture, we've got a round part of the floor. Okay, so
Right.
so under the floor is our foundation and our blowout preventer. So for us, it's all surface. We can see it. So now we're
Because of the small rig.
yeah,
Oh yeah. Okay.
shallow water, everything's
Right,
above
right.
water surface. So now we're going to take and we've been drilling through the center of the blowout preventer. We're going to add a new joint of pipe on, so we drag it up, we put it in the hole for temporary, we attach it to the Kelly, pick it up and bring it to where we're actually drilling the well. So once we stab the new joint of pipe onto the existing pipe, we've got to thread it together.
Right.
So that's where you've seen in the pictures
chains,
and everything, the
yeah.
chain, you wrap the chain around the pipe, pull the chain, spins the pipe, threads it together. Once it's threaded together, we've got to tighten it. So we've got big pipe wrenches hanging on
Oh
cables.
my goodness, that would be so cool.
Yeah.
Did you see
So
something?
you'll see that in the picture.
Oh,
I've seen
so
that.
those-
I've seen
Oh,
videos of that
that's
too.
So
cool.
those big pipe wrenches are called manual tongs.
Okay.
Key word there is manual.
Oh.
It's hanging on counterweight, so we don't have to physically
Oh.
lift the weight, but we have to get the motion. We have to open the
Right.
jaws, latch onto the 2 joints, pull with a winch. We release those tongs, let them hang back over to the side like you see upstairs. Then we lower the Kelly down over the joint of pipe to where the Kelly pins to the floor. So there's some pegs on the Kelly you'll see in the picture. Well, those 4 pegs pin to 4 holes in the floor. And on the picture you'll see we got a round part of floor. It's our rotary table. So we've got a rotary table drill floor. So that rotary table rotates. So as the driller manually turns the rotary table, that turning forces the Kelly to turn. The Kelly forces the pipe to turn. We're drilling.
Right.
We drill 32 feet deep, the length of 1 joint, stop, drag another joint up, screw it on, drill 32 feet. So now, let's say you get all 15,000 feet of pipe out of the hole, you get to the drill bit, you look at it, and 4 teeth have broken off. So 4 of these teeth are down 15,000 feet down in the bottom of our hole that's full of drilling mud. We got to get them out or they're going to break our new drill bit. So now we got to go fishing. So some of the things they've done to make it safer through the years is we've replaced the chain and those manual tongs with hydraulic tongs.
Okay.
So with hydraulic tongs, I can be at a distance with levers, open and closing the levers that open and close the jaw, spin and tighten the pipe. We've replaced that moving drill floor at our feet. Now we have a unit above the drill pipe on a track system. So you see this one actually has the track system. So when you see this right here, this straight piece inside this diagonal, that's our track. We've also taken the drill pipe itself, and where we've taken that 32-foot joint, now we have some joints that are 45 feet in length. So now we're stopping less often to do the job of threading. So that's definitely safer, but you got to have a long enough pipe rag deck.
Right.
So the older rigs will keep using the 32s, and newer rigs are built for the 45s. Then we've taken the hydraulic tongs, added more hydraulics and robotics to the system, where these men and women are now sitting in an air-conditioned cabin with joysticks, operating robotic arms, doing this work, and we've got rigs with 14 years of no lost time accidents. So when you're looking at the mess hall and the galley, they're serving 4 meals every day because of the 24-hour day operation. So breakfast, lunch, supper, midnight meal.
Okay.
It's buffet, so it's all you can eat every meal. So they feed them well.
Yeah.
The other meals are Chinese, Italian, Mexican, junk food. Junk food is hamburgers and hot dogs.
Right.
Pizza, homemade pizzas. Way to get rid of leftovers, pile it on a pizza. Well, the boats, groceries are usually once a week.
Yeah.
Now the boats are moving continually. A deep water rig in the Gulf might have 5 boats servicing that one rig.
Yeah.
So one of those boats is that crew boat, the faster boat. The other 4 boats are the supply boats, like this one. So when you look at this one, all that back deck space is hauling cargo. Below deck, of course, is the engine room, but along with the engine room, there's tanks. So when that boat comes out, it's bringing diesel to us for our generators. It's bringing potable water. It's bringing drilling fluids, the drilling mud.
There is so much more to this tour than we have in this video. I didn't want to make the video 2 hours long. When you are anywhere near this area, make sure to stop. And stick around to the very end to see all the historical photos.
Well, when he was 13 years old, he built that hat right there where he could get, it had a little air tank on it. And with that air tank, he could go to the gas station, fill it up with air, and get 20 minutes of spearfishing time.
Oh my goodness, that's awesome.
At 13 years old, he was going spearfishing in Lake Pontchartrain and had 20 minutes of air.
If you have an Apple product, please consider supporting this nonprofit museum and get a game to play at the same time by downloading the Shadow puzzle game. All the cool kids are playing it. did you think?
I really enjoyed it.
I did too. Learned a lot more.
Yeah, I'm gonna be honest. I knew it was going to be very educational. I wasn't for sure from a female perspective. Now, I'm not a girly girl. I don't know if you guys can tell that or not, but I thought, is this something that's going to interest me and hold my interest? And it was completely fascinating. I learned so much from this trip, more so than watching anything on TV.
You learn not only the history of oil drilling, but also the future and what they're doing now, currently. So that was more than I expected. I thought maybe it would just be, hey, this is what everything used to be like, you know, but you learn the new stuff too, which is cool.
Yeah, you don't hear a lot of what's going on with the technology involved in oil drilling.
And I think it's a once-in-a-lifetime opportunity if you're here to go actually walk out on what was a working oil rig. I mean, it did the job.
Right.
That's where people lived, and that's where people, you know, did their job. And
now they use it for training.
And we've already burnt through all that oil, you know, because we've had these cars on the road for this many years because of that oil rig, you know. Before they were, well, they've heard the story of why they invented it. But.
Yeah, it's amazing to think that there is so much more out there. I had no idea that there is so much more out to be gathered, and other countries are doing it as well.
Big numbers of oil wells out there too, you know.
It's just fascinating.
Yep.
Is our last frontier on Earth is the ocean, and it was very...
And Virgil was so knowledgeable.
Yeah.
You've got to stop and
he
just
was
chat with him if
amazing.
nothing else. He's got a lot of information in that noggin of his.
Oh gosh, he could just go. He could teach classes, I'm sure, on all of it.
He was in tune too to what we were asking, and he was involved. Like not like some of the tour guides that we've seen, where they just, you know, you ask them a question, they don't even know what you're talking about, let alone.
Right.
You know, he's very knowledgeable.
He does it in a manner that is not, doesn't make you feel like a child or condescending or anything in any manner. He answers the question in a way that you understand it as well, which is appreciated.
If you're anywhere in the state, this is worth stopping in.
It really is. I believe it's the only one in the world that you can go on and take a tour.
I have no idea about that, especially the world. I don't know.
Well, at the minimum, the United States.
Yeah.
But I'm almost certain I read somewhere that
it's the first one that was movable, which they've learned that too. So I've seen it.
Yeah. So this one went down to 40 feet. And you might not use all of this in your videos.
Depths to 40 feet.
Yeah, depths to 40 feet on this one, but now they are able to do 12,000 feet, which is just incredible.
Yep.
So, anyways, check it out.
Yep. And God bless all of you, and we will see you again next week.